is your boy, Sheiv, the Wise, and welcome back to Vader's Lair. It's freaking time. It's time. Well, almost. We're less than 3 hours away from the premiere of Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 3. Let's go! It is good to see all of you in the chat. I'm overly hyped today. I woke up with a headache, like 10 minutes late for work. Rob, if you somehow watch this, shout out to you, my guy. 10 minutes late for work, though, had a headache. Slowly, my headache was kind of going away. You know, drank some water, had my coffee early in the morning. But then, the Star Wars fans erupted on Twitter today. It's been madness. Let's get into the lair. Let's talk about it and, welcome in. Let's do it. Do it. Let's go. Welcome to the channel. Subscribe if you are hyped for The Mandalorian like I am, because I cannot wait, man. It has been a long, almost 3 years at this point. What has it been? Over 2 years? Jeez. Been a long time since we had Star Wars The Mandalorian and new episodes for it. Yes, we saw Din and Grogu in the Book of Boba Fett, and I hope you watched the Book of Boba Fett, by the way. We have a lot to talk about, though, today, so I won't go on too much of a tangent yet. I'm sure I will. Heck, this could end up being like a 2-hour stream at this point. But seriously, we have a lot to talk about. It is going to be a very fun time hanging out with you guys, so welcome in, everybody. Let's talk about it. Where do I even begin with today? I guess let's talk about the latest news. Or supposed news. I don't even know where to begin with this, if I'm being honest. But basically, in an interview today, because of course tonight is the premiere of Star Wars The Mandalorian. And a premiere today, though, or like in a video that premiered today for the premiere. There you go. Jon Favreau was asked basically a question about The Mandalorian Season 3. I don't know what the exact question was, but along the lines, he says something basically akin to, Din has been with Grogu for a number of years at this point. Multiple years, it sounds like, through Season 1 and Season 2 of The Mandalorian. Which, that could make sense. I think a lot of us thought that maybe it was just like, you know, one, maybe 2 years throughout both seasons, you know, 2 years in total would maybe make sense. I think that still could even make sense. But, you know, multiple years, let's say like 3 years together, Din and Grogu throughout Season 1 and 2. And then he says that he's basically been without Mando now. He's been gone without him now for we've been without him now for 2 years is what he says. Or we've been without him. I don't know. Let me pull up the video. This is too hard to explain. It's way too hard. It's complicated because the way he said it, he basically was saying that Grogu has been with Luke for 2 years, or we haven't seen him with him in 2 years with Luke. He's been with Luke. I don't even know how to say it. I'm trying to find the video now. Okay, real quick question for everybody in the chat. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place because there's just too much. There's too much today. Let me know if you guys think there's going to be a big premiere tonight. Do you or like a big preview? Sorry. Keep saying premiere. It's the premiere. Tonight, we think that there might be a big character reveal. That's what I should say. And just like Season 1, we got the reveal of Grogu. And Season 2, where we got the reveal of Boba Fett. I'm thinking there might be a reveal tonight. So if you guys have any ideas who that could be, let me know in the chat. I'm trying to open up the chat right now, too. So much happening. Good to see you all, by the way. Let me know what you guys think. Let me get back on my tangent. Let me find the John. Let me find this thing. Variety cleared it up. Okay. Hold on. I'm pulling this up. No. I lost it. I hate Twitter. That's what I learned today. I'm sorry, everybody watching. That's what I learned today, is that I hate Twitter. The Mandalorian Season 2 was supposedly said to have taken place 2 years before the Book of Boba Fett, according to what Jon Favreau had basically said. To get into it, yes, no spoilers. I don't know any spoilers for Season 3. If you guys have spoilers for Season 3, keep it out. We don't want it. We want to see the show. But yes, the point being, time passes and we don't see every minute. Thank you, Don. I'm totally going off the rails here. Let's go. Jon Favreau basically said that we don't see Luke, or Grogu is basically with Luke for 2 years, is the point of all of this. And a lot of fans were upset or kind of trying to figure it out because it doesn't seem like in the Book of Boba Fett it's been 2 years. And if I'm being honest, it doesn't. But I also think that it could. And if we're going to be open to John basically saying that it's 2 years, and it sounds like he cleared it up and I need to freaking find it. But if he's saying that it's 2 years between Book of Boba and also The Mandalorian Season 2, I think it makes sense. I mean, people were saying, oh, Din Djarin hasn't had a ship in 2 years. He's just finding the Mandalorian covert and all this stuff. And Grogu's just learning how to jump. And I'm like, it could easily be 2 years. We don't know how time passes in Star Wars all the time. This time between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, obviously there's been a little bit of a time difference because Anakin has longer hair, Obi-Wan's got shorter hair, and we missed the entire Clone Wars. We missed the entire Clone Wars between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. And then, you think of the time between The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, where Rey is probably training during that period. We don't really see any of it, but we know she's trained. She's all of a sudden shooting Force lightning, even if that was on accident. She's training in the Force. She's using it more. But people were complaining Grogu's, just learning to jump. He's doing all this stuff. Din Djarin is like, they're barely spending time apart is what the original argument is. That, there's barely any time apart. And now we find out it's been 2 years from Mandalorian Season 2 to Book of Boba. And people are like, oh, like, it didn't even feel like it. That's kind of going to be the case, though. I mean, our two main characters are a dude in a helmet and a baby that ages at 1/10 of the age that we do. No, in 2 years, they're not going to look too different. Most people probably in the galaxy don't look too different. You know what I mean? Like, Boba actually looked a lot better because of all that Bacta stuff. And 2 years between that makes sense for him to start healing. I mean, think about Darth Vader, man. This dude was taking Bacta baths his entire life and looked like a cracked egg at the age, 20 years later. It doesn't happen overnight. I'm fired up today, man. It has been a hype day waiting for The Mandalorian Season 3. The fandom is erupting online. It's been a good time. It's been a real good time. I gotta say, though, I am kind of... It gives me appreciation to see the fandom erupting like this over such a small, minute detail. It's because we have passion. We really love this stuff, man. I mean, if we knew that it was a 2-year gap back when Book of Boba was actually happening, then, that would have been dope. That would have been dope to know, and it seems like we just found it out. And the hilarious part of this is that it totally could have been taken out of context, and he might have just misspoken and meant that it's been 2 years since we saw Luke taking him away and whatnot. But the way he said it, it totally sounded like he was basically saying that Luke and Grogu have been training for 2 years. And it still makes sense if that is the context, like I'm saying. Because, like, Din is literally missing Grogu the entire time. Grogu is missing Din. And we'll get into that here in a second, because I'm going to break down everything you should probably know before watching The Mandalorian Season 3. We just did a rewatch here on the channel, watching basically seasons 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian, and then those last 3 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett, which if you haven't seen them, you should probably watch them before you see The Mandalorian Season 3. You still got some time. I promise you do. Start it now, though. Those 3 episodes are crucial to what's going on in Season 3. because they follow Din Djarin and Grogu, our main characters in The Mandalorian. But here is everything that you should know for The Mandalorian Season 3. Season 2 of The Mandalorian followed Din and Grogu as Din tried to basically find a Jedi to bring Grogu to. At the end of Season 1, he was tasked by the Armorer to go find a member of Grogu's species, and basically at the time being, he was a foundling. And so during Season 2, Din and Grogu start to grow closer than ever before. Along the way, Mando and Grogu connect. They even search for other Mandalorians to help try to find the Jedi that he's looking for, which eventually leads them to Bo-Katan and her Night Owls. I mean, before that, we even get Cobb Vanth, who turned out to not be a Mandalorian. But then at the end of Season 1 or Season 2, Episode 1, we found out that Boba Fett was back. He was alive still. And so Din has Boba's armor. He gets rescued by Bo-Katan and her Night Owls. And the two of them, or, the Night Owls and Din basically go on a mission. And Din gets some information from Bo-Katan. She tells Din to go find Ahsoka Tano. And so that's what happened. Din eventually stopped by Navarro first, of course, and met up with his good friend Greef Karga, which maybe that's going to be what tonight is about. But we went to Navarro again, caught up with Greef Karga, and we see where Grogu's blood was taken and used in Season 1. Basically, Grogu had his blood taken by Dr. Pershing, and what we see in Season 2, as some time has clearly passed, is that there's basically a cloning facility on Navarro. They thought, Greef Karga and a lot of the people of Navarro had thought that this Imperial base was just that, an Imperial base, but it turned out to be an Imperial cloning facility on top of the fact it was a base as well. And so they go down there, they figure it out, and that's kind of how we figure out that Grogu's blood was used. They're trying to use his high M count to create clones that are most likely force sensitive. It even looked like one of the clones could have potentially been Snoke, but I guess we are left to find that out in Season 3. However, at the end of Season 2, we did find out that Grogu's blood was taken again by Moff Gideon, so it's possible that some further cloning could be in the process here in Season 3, or maybe already has been while Din and Grogu have been off on their adventures. So after that, though, Ahsoka is the next stop that he makes, and Ahsoka brings the name of Thrawn up after kind of doing a little mission with Din, trying to protect some people, of course, because that's what Mandalorians and Jedi do, right? You know what I mean? But basically then she directs Grogu and Din to Tython to try and find another Jedi, because Ahsoka Tano is technically not a Jedi in the first place, and she's also afraid of training Grogu due to his attachments to Din, thinking that he might end up like Anakin Skywalker, her former master, Darth Vader. But when they go to Tython, a lot of stuff happens there. Din loses his ship, getting it blown up in the process of trying to save Grogu from getting taken from the Empire. And also we get the incredible return of Boba Fett back in live action. And he was kicking some butt in that episode. It was so cool to see Boba back in the live action setting. It was so cool. And then, of course, Grogu does get taken by the Empire. He gets taken by some Dark Troopers and is brought back to Moff Gideon, where his blood was extracted. We also see Grogu using some Force powers, throwing some Stormtroopers against the wall, and also the Darksaber. I forgot to mention that, because back in Season 1, it was basically shown to us as the big reveal at the end of Season 1 that the Darksaber was at the hands of Moff Gideon. Here we see it again in Season 2 in Moff Gideon's hands as he kind of shows it off to Grogu. And then we get to the finale, where Din basically teams up with Bo-Katan, Boba Fett, Fennec Shand, the other Night Owls, Cara Dune, as well, as that will probably be the last time we see Cara Dune. However, Dave Filoni also did say today that she is out there in the galaxy, most likely. So who knows? Maybe a recast for Cara Dune one day? It's possible. I'd be open to it. What about you guys in the chat? I think yes. So to continue on, he goes on this mission with all these group of people to go save Grogu from the clutches of Moff Gideon. There we see Din basically take on Moff Gideon, where he beats him in one-on-one combat and basically claims the Darksaber without even meaning to. That's where the real fun begins, because he obviously apprehends Moff Gideon, but in the process, these Dark Troopers are after him. These Dark Troopers are big, like, mechs that are basically unstoppable, especially compared to Din Djarin and his friends, you know what I mean? And so the Tython whole arc was that Grogu was sending a beacon to a Jedi, and what ends up happening is Luke Skywalker comes to save them all. There you go. There's your recap of season 2. But Luke Skywalker comes to save them all, and basically the next time that we see Din Djarin and Grogu is in the Book of Boba Fett. And if you've missed that, here's your little recap from me. In the Book of Boba Fett, we see Din Djarin and Grogu, and they end up struggling a lot without each other. They're going through this whole process of trying to cope with the fact that they're not with their father and son. You know what I mean? They're not with their buddy. So the whole time these two are off and not together, they're thinking about each other. At the time, and I don't know if this is still the case, if I'm being honest, it seemed like it had just been a few months or so since we had last seen Din Djarin and Grogu together. But it was kind of mixed up in the fandom today, which is what I was trying to tell you guys earlier, that some people are starting to think, because of what Jon Favreau said, that Grogu and Din were not together for 2 years, and Grogu was actually training with Luke that entire time. It's me, John, using a different account. What up, JK? Or JQ? My bad. What up, everybody in the chat? I'll stop for a second. We're going on a whole rant. What up with you, that boy Steve? Sabersmith, good to see you in the chat too. I'm looking at pics from the premiere on Twitter, and Big Papa Iger is there with John and Dave, looking slick in all black. Of course, I was seeing some tweets earlier of the premiere as well, and one of my favorites was at the premiere, and it got me thinking. And here's Sheiv with his crazy ideas. I'm a big Daniel Logan simp, so anybody that doesn't know, every single time that Daniel Logan tweets, I get notified. It's that, yeah, it's like that. So I get notified every time that Daniel Logan tweets, and he tweets out tonight of some pictures of him at the premiere for The Mandalorian. Like, why the heck would he be there, dude? Like, they could definitely just invite him onto the red carpet and everything, but he was on the red carpet. Yeah, Daniel Logan simp, indeed. And yeah, theory time indeed, Kylie. I'm just saying, what if we got some Boba flashbacks of Daniel Logan as a younger Boba? Man, that would be so cool. That would be an awesome reveal throughout the season. I don't think they would actually make... Maybe he's just like a Mando. That would be... You know what? I bet you he's a Mandalorian. Oh my god. Theory time solved. They're going to make Daniel Logan a Mandalorian in this show. There's so many of them on the set, please. If he's like one of the main Mandos, oh my god. Oh my god, what if that's like the big reveal of tonight or something? That would be sick. I'm voice acting a droid? No, Chillmonger, make him a Mando. Make him a Mando. I think that's a genius idea. If they didn't do that already, they should do that in season 4. Met the guy over the weekend. Good dude. Din, the man. He's an excellent dude. I met him once too. I told him that I was the dude that obsesses over him on Twitter and says that he should be in the Book of Boba Fett and in the Bad Batch. So hopefully Lucasfilm listened to me and they put him in, man. That would be cool. I hope he's at least a Mando, man. That would be awesome. I don't know, man. Team Sheiv is batting 750 in theory time. Oh, I love it. That's pretty dang good if I'm batting that well. Saber Smith says, I didn't see Christopher Lloyd, though. I mean, the dude's pretty old. He probably isn't around LA. I hope he's in it, though. Well, obviously, Christopher Lloyd is in it. But I hope that I hope Daniel Logan's in it, man. Now I'm going to be thinking about that all night. What do you know of the rumors of the Bo-Katan series? Not too much. I don't know too much about that at all. there were rumors of a project being in the works, or very early in the works, and that project was supposed to be titled Ghost Track 17. Ghost Track 17 is a reference to the Beatles, who had a ghost track on one of their albums that was titled Ghost Track 17, I believe. Or actually, no, it was titled Her Majesty. That's right, Her Majesty. That is what I know of the Bo-Katan show, is that there is a project called Ghost Track 17, which Ghost Track 17 is Her Majesty. Now, if Bo-Katan becomes the Mandalore throughout season 3, she would definitely be Her Majesty, and a Bo-Katan show would be pretty freaking cool. I'm here for it. I love Bo-Katan, to be honest. Katie Sackhoff is an absolute G. She's been voicing Bo-Katan since the latter days of the Clone Wars. She's awesome. She's been such a great addition to the Star Wars universe, in my opinion. Her love for the character and for the fandom is unmatched almost amongst many of the actors and actresses. She's so awesome, and I hoped that they do give her a show. You know what? I hope we see her become Mandalore and not screw it up. At least for a little bit. I have a theory that at some point Boba Fett is going to become the Mandalore, or maybe Grogu. Probably Grogu, now that I think about it. Yeah, hopefully Bo-Katan can have a nice long reign. Grogu's in no rush to become Mandalore, in my opinion. He's got a lot of time. Mando season 3 bug reveal is either Luke Soka or Din Bridger. Oof. Oh, I'm down for it. I don't know about Luke Soka. It's not up to me. Alright, where are we though? Do we get live? What we really want to know is, do we get live action Omega, and will Boba be in the Bad Batch? I don't know if Boba will ever be in the Bad Batch. I think live action Omega is more likely. So, theory time. Shout out Paul. I love that stuff. I have a crazy theory that might just connect the Bad Batch and the Mandalorian season 3. So sit your butts down and listen up. Tonight is the 11th episode of the Bad Batch. And it's also the first episode of the Mandalorian season 3. Basically, for the first time ever, when the Bad Batch hits its finale, because obviously it's going to be running alongside the Mandalorian for the next 5 weeks. When the Bad Batch gets to its finale, we're not just getting one Bad Batch episode that night. No. We're getting a 2-part finale to the Bad Batch. The same night that we're kicking off the second half of the Mandalorian with episode 5. 3 episodes of Star Wars in one night. I don't think that's ever happened before. Ever. Pretty sure. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost positive that's never happened before. Let alone 3 high-profile shows, in my opinion, like The Mandalorian and The Bad Batch. What if this Grogu flashback that we continue to get, because we saw Grogu get a flashback of Order 66 in the Book of Boba Fett, and in all of these Mando trailers, they've been teasing out this dang gone Grogu flashback, although I noticed today that it might be a different flashback. But it only adds to my theory, to be honest. Grogu keeps getting this Order 66 flashback though, and I think he could get another flashback this year, or in this season, kind of explaining the full flashback. It was kind of cut off early last time that we saw it in the Book of Boba Fett. So if he kind of had it fully unlocked and saw the entire thing, we could maybe unlock that part of Grogu's memory that went dark and see the full kind of memory of what happened to Grogu after Order 66. I think that would be a fantastic episode to put in episode 5. Not only that, I think episode 5, if I'm not wrong, is the episode that the Into the Spider-Verse director is directing. So, hear me out. What if we see all of that play out and Grogu gets taken by the clone troopers that come to get him during Order 66? Or maybe it's like Anakin or something even. That would be too crazy though. I don't think that's going to happen. Don't think that'll happen. Probably not. But Grogu gets taken. Maybe we don't see it in The Mandalorian, but he would probably be taken to Palpatine, who would send him to where? After Order 66, at least. I mean, you would think Camino, but at this point, Palpatine's already probably got Mount Tantus, which we saw at the end of the Bad Batch season 1. Sorry. So Mount Tantus is a cloning facility that we know Palpatine has. I think Grogu would be taken there. What if that night that we see the Order 66 flashback in its entirety, we also get that 2-part Bad Batch episode that shows us the Bad Batch saving Grogu on Mount Tantus? Am I crazy? I'm probably crazy. I'm just saying. I'm also super hyped for when that Into the Spider-Verse guy does direct. I think it's like Peter Ramsey, but I don't want to say that because it might not be. Tim says no. I'm crazy. That's what that is. Alright. So let's talk about The Mandalorian Season 3 and what we could potentially see tonight. Actually, let me finish off our Book of Boba Fett thing, unless I shouldn't. But in the Book of Boba Fett, Din has the Darksaber. He's struggling to use that. I think the main reason that Din struggles to use the Darksaber is actually because he's thinking of Grogu and missing him the entire time. And also, he doesn't really want the saber to begin with, especially the responsibilities that the saber likely brings. That being a claim to the throne of Mandalore. So that's why he's struggling without Grogu, and he misses him and ends up going back to him in the book of Boba Fett to basically go see him. And Grogu is struggling without Din during his training with Luke. And then of course the two meet back up together because Grogu is given the choice basically to choose between this Beskar chainmail or like little armor for him that Din had crafted, or Yoda's lightsaber. I personally would have taken Yoda's lightsaber, but I don't blame you, Grogu. Go be with your dad, my guy. Mike Porter, it's good to see you in the chat. RF Gaming says, just how many blinkers deep were you when you thought of this up? None, probably. I don't know. Maybe 2. Probably 0. Dat Boy Steve says, I for real want a live action Omega at some point. It doesn't have to fit in anytime soon, but at some point. I'm down for it. And those 2-part won't be filler. Yeah, hopefully. I don't think they would make the finale a 2-part filler. I don't think tonight's episode of The Bad Batch is going to be filler either. Saber Smith says Katie confirmed in her interview that with Harloff that there are 5 people portraying Bo-Katan, 4 are stunt doubles, and 1 is the stand-in when she had her baby. Dang, so a whole bunch of people were bringing Bo-Katan back to life. That's wild. Space Mithril is pretty tempting, not gonna lie. Space Mithril? Isn't the Mithril the blue guy? What? Alright, let's talk about Season 3 though. So, in Season 3, I got some big predictions. A lot of people were wondering if maybe Sabine Wren is going to be one of the big reveals of the season, and I don't think she will be. I think she could be towards the back half of the season if they did her at all. But I think she could be on Lothal this whole time until we get to the Ahsoka show. At a lot of points, I was kind of hopeful that we would see Sabine because Sabine Wren is such a cool character. And she's a Mandalorian. And she feels like she belongs in The Mandalorian. But we know from the Rebels epilogue that she kind of stays on Lothal, trying to protect it in case the Empire ever comes back or if Ezra ever comes back. But, again, I don't even know where I'm going now. I don't think we'll see Sabine this season, if I'm being honest. I think there might be some other reveals that are coming. I think this season is primarily going to be focused on the Mandalorians, which is cool because at one point Jon Favreau was saying basically that this is going to be the season, or not this season, but this show is going to be like a Star Wars Game of Thrones. Or very early on he said that, and a lot of people were like, okay, you know what I mean? So this is kind of where I think we're starting to get to that, and I think that this has always been kind of part of the plan, is we're going to finally see the Game of Thrones version of Star Wars here with the Mandalorian throne. I think there's going to be some people trying to reach out and grab it, whether it's Bo-Katan, Din, maybe even thinking that he deserves it at some point. That'd be cool if he goes from the reluctant ruler to being like, you know what, maybe I am the best to rule. He brings all the Mandalorians together. I still think Din doesn't really want to be the ruler, so I wouldn't be surprised if Bo-Katan ends up Mandalore. But then again, there could be Boba Fett. There could be a lot of people that end up having a claim to the throne throughout the season. I need 13 more likes, Smash. Do it. Moni G says, I want to see Ezra and Thrawn. So that might be the biggest reveal I think we could get this season. But I don't think it'll be in this season, if that makes sense. The same way that we got a Book of Boba Fett kind of prelude or preview at the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian. If you watched the post-credit scene, you knew it was coming. I think we could get a post-credit scene of Grand Admiral Thrawn. Maybe it's going to be a post-credit scene of Ahsoka or something, but a post-credit scene of Grand Admiral Thrawn. That would be spicy. I would definitely be down for that. That might be my biggest crazy hope for the season. One of my crazier theories, although I have a lot of those. I would love to see Ezra and Thrawn, though. I don't think we're going to see Ezra and Thrawn probably until the Ahsoka show. That's going to be... Hopefully they show up at the end, at least the end of the first season. But I do think that we see them in the Ahsoka show. No? No. I've got my money on Din, says Chillmonger. Din? For what? JQ says, in my opinion, I'm not so sure of Bo-Katan. A Bo-Katan series is necessary. After hearing stuff from Star Wars Meg saying Bo-Katan will be in both Season 3 and Season 4, her series would be like Book of Boba Fett, restoring Mandalore. Possibly. Mando watch party tonight! No, possibly though, JQ. I don't think that it's necessary to have a Bo-Katan season or show, I guess, but it would be kind of cool. You know, if Din ends up doing his own thing with Grogu, then it would make sense to kind of have a peek into what Bo-Katan is doing with Mandalore. At least I think. But I get what you're saying, that if she's in Season 3 and Season 4, do we really need to see her in her own show? What if in Season 3 she gets the crown, or basically she becomes the Mandalore, the ruler of Mandalore. And that's what happens kind of towards the end of the season. Or maybe that happens midway through the season. But then what if Din continues to go on his own kind of journey? Then it would be cool to have a show, I think, of Bo-Katan ruling Mandalore. I don't know. It sounds cool to me. The Book of Bo. There you go. I'm with it. I'm down for it. I'm down for it too, Moni G. No sleep tonight, indeed. Yeah, so tonight we are going to be doing 2 watch parties for anybody who's not aware. We're going to be doing a Mandalorian Season 3 watch party. Season 3, Episode 1. We're going to be doing that at 11:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is about an hour and a half from now. So I'll see you guys there for that. And, of course, I am definitely hyped for it. And then at around 1 a.m., we're going to be doing a Bad Batch watch party as well for Season 2, Episode 11 of the Bad Batch. And if anybody here is kind of feeling down on the Bad Batch, or like this season has been a little fillery, or maybe you're thinking, I don't know if the Bad Batch is for me. I don't know. If you're feeling down on the Bad Batch, stick with it. Please stick with it. Watch it tonight. We'll get into it here in a minute, but I've had some theories for a long time of what this episode could potentially be about, and it's episode 11 titled Metamorphosis. Let's dive into that here in a minute. How are we feeling though about tonight's episode of The Mandalorian? Are we hyped? Give me some hype. If you're a channel member, throw some hype emojis into the chat if you're hyped. Let me know how hyped you are. Tim says no way Thrawn is in the post-credit scene. They haven't used them to introduce new characters. Timothy, you're right. They haven't yet. They've given us one where it's a post-credit scene of Boba Fett taking the throne, I guess you could say, of Tatooine. And then the other one was of Cobb Vanth getting modded, or like in the back to tank, being revived back to life, basically, after getting shot by Cad Bane. So you're right. They haven't done it to introduce any characters yet. So a post-credit scene of Ahsoka maybe would be more likely if we see her in the season. But I do think there will be a post-credit scene. I will say that. And the Ahsoka show, I think, is the next show. Maybe it's going to be like a post-credit for a project that Lucasfilm is working on called Skeleton Crew. But I think Ahsoka is more likely. And with Mando, it would just be random. I don't know if it would be random, Tim. Let me challenge that. So, the reason I do think that we could get a Thrawn post-credit scene, personally, is because Thrawn was mentioned in The Mandalorian. And for people that don't know who it is, sure, they might be confused. Like, who the heck is this? Well, they're going to want to figure it out. Because he's a crazy blue-looking dude with beady red eyes. And if we get our first look at Thrawn at a post-credit scene of The Mandalorian Season 3, do you know how many people are going to want to go watch Ahsoka? That maybe aren't even super interested in. I can't even say that. Ahsoka is probably the most popular character in the fandom. I don't know a single person that doesn't like Ahsoka. You know what I mean? So, on top of the fact that Ahsoka's, a show that everyone's gonna want to watch, if kind of the more, casual fan sees a crazy blue-looking dude, kind of like a Thrawn like Thanos kind of thing at the end of Avengers, where Thanos grabs the Infinity Gauntlet and he's like, fine, I'll do it myself, and he puts the glove on. What if we get something like that of Thrawn, man, where it's a post-credit scene? I don't know, I'm crazy. What is it with the post-credits? I don't know. No, at the end of Ahsoka, not even a post-credit scene. Boo. Maybe you're probably right. I'm wrong. I know I am. I'm just hyped too, Moni G. He was mentioned by Ahsoka in Mandalorian, though. I would actually hate it. So random. Then Thrawn has to be in the whole Ahsoka show if he's already revealed. Good. You're probably right. Happy birthday, Adam Meadows. Thank you. It's a bit past my birthday now. Happy Mando birthday. Yeah. Joe, as long as it's 35 minutes of really good content, we're chilling. Yeah, so that has been about the rumored runtime that I think I saw. I think it was like 35 minutes, 47 seconds or something like that. So it's probably like a 35-minute episode, barring there could be, the intro, the recap, whatever kind of end credit scene and everything. But 35 minutes, I will say there's been some amazing 35 to 38 minute episodes of The Mandalorian already. I'm not worried about the runtime. They usually tell the story they need to in the time they have. And I'm just excited for it. I'm just hyped for it, man. Dan the Man says Sabine and Thrawn in Mando Season 3. No. He put a flippin' Rancor to sleep. Alright, now y'all are getting meta. Yeah. To the people that say that Grogu only learned how to jump, he put a flippin' Rancor to sleep. Come on, y'all. Randall Parkins, what up? Or Perkins, my bad. Oh, I'm so sorry. What up with you, man? Moni G says he's a terrifying baddie. I love Thrawn. His story eased me into the EU. Before that, I was a strict canon girl. Good times. For me, it drew me into the canon books because now that's a thing. There's a whole saga of Thrawn books, 2 trilogies. They're incredible, and Thrawn is awesome. they've kind of made him more of an anti-hero, or he's a bad guy for sure, but he has good motives, kind of like Thrawn, or I keep saying that, kind of like Thanos. I can't even say that. Most people don't even know that Thanos kind of had good intentions, but that's a story for another time. This is a Star Wars channel. Tales of the Jedi episodes were packed full of oh dude, Randall, the Tales of the Jedi episodes were fantastic. I really hope that they do more. Like Tales of the Sith, Tales of the Jedi, give me all of it. Heck, Tales of the Bounty Hunters, do it. JQ says, how much expansion is Dave and John trying to make of this time era? Excellent question. So how much expansion are they planning to do with this time era? I don't know. They really could keep going all the way up until the sequels if they want. Pedro Pascal actually said in an interview today, how long do you think you'll be playing The Mandalorian? Or how long do you hope to be playing The Mandalorian? Something along those lines. And he says, I think I'll be playing The Mandalorian for the rest of my life. I love you, Pedro. What a guy. Tales of the Sith sounds cool, but I prefer season 2 with good guys. Hey, more Tales of the Jedi with season 2 following some other dudes would be awesome. Whether it's Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, or Anakin. I'm down for more of those anytime. You know what I mean? I love Anakin and Obi-Wan stories. Sheiv gave into his hatred tonight. Good. Let the hate flow through you. Let the hate flow through you, my friend. Yeah, I don't know about hatred. I was definitely going off. You know, I'm real passionate about Star Wars, man. That's what it is. I love this stuff. Hello to you, Nighthawk. Welcome into the chat. What else is we saying? Can somebody clip that and do it? If there's any connection to Ahsoka, it's probably Sabine and Ahsoka. Probably. If we do see Sabine and Ahsoka this season, my biggest theory for that, because I come up with a theory for everything. Hey, much love. I'll definitely be keeping the passion. But my theory for if we see Sabine and Ahsoka in this season, it's going to be through Bo-Katan and Din. Let's say Bo-Katan and Din end up needing Ahsoka's help. They would definitely call her. You know what I mean? I mean, if we want to get real crazy, and I doubt that, I actually think for sure that Thrawn and whatever Imperial remnants that he might have are probably for sure different than Moff Gideon and whatever he has going on. But I mean, if Moff Gideon is working for Thrawn in some capacity, here's me going off on the Thrawn stuff again. What if a crazy blue dude ends up attacking Din during the season, or the Mandalorians? Damn it. Oh, I love the Grogu with the knives. That's so good. If you gotta listen to a bunch of idiots, you get angry. It is what it is. Oh no. Savagery. I mean, I was getting frustrated. You know what I mean? It was passion though. I was like, come on, y'all. Use your brains. Alright, let's get into the Bad Batch part of it. If you guys have any questions or thoughts for The Mandalorian or final predictions before season 3, throw them into the chat. As far as tonight's episode goes, I think that we probably will be going to Navarro. Meeting up again with Grief Karga. I mean, maybe it'll happen next week and something crazy will happen tonight because they kind of stick to this, you know, big reveal at the end of the season. But we could be going back to Navarro. It would be dope to meet up with Grief Karga, go from there. Maybe he even has to go back to Tatooine. Maybe the Tatooine stuff happens in episode 3 or 4 or something too. But I think Navarro and Grief Karga is probably the safest bet for what we might end up seeing tonight. So that's what I probably think is going to happen. It might meet up with Grief Karga, like that scene that we saw. That probably is from this first episode. And then we'll go from there. We'll meet up with our friends, see how Din and Grogu are doing at this point. And I think it's going to be a good time. Bo versus Din would be the greatest fight scene in Star Wars history, in my opinion, says Nighthawk. I mean, it would be pretty cool. I don't know about greatest fight scene. Hopefully Din Djarin can start to kind of, you know, wield the Darksaber a little better. He has Grogu back in his life. If Bo and Din do need his help, and he maybe calls Ahsoka for help to train him or something, or, you know, Ahsoka, if she's with Sabine, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, Sabine and Ahsoka come in, they help the Mandalorians protect against Thrawn. It'd be crazy. It's not gonna happen. We're gonna see Ahsoka, Sabine, and Thrawn probably all in the Ahsoka show. You know what I mean? We gotta wait. That's a good safe call. Yeah, I think it is probably going to be that. But I could hopefully go into something a little bit more if we do end up just going to Grief Karga and everything. Ooh, I think the Armor versus Bo would top that. I would love to see the Armor versus Bo. The Armor and Bo are both, at least most likely, former members of Death Watch. They probably even knew each other. I found the freaking clip. We're like way off of that now, but I found the clip. You want to talk about Jedi Survivor? Jedi Survivor is going to be lit. 1 more hour, let's go. It's kind of 2 more hours. 2 more hours, actually. I don't know. I'm down to see some Mandalorian fights in this season. I think that would be pretty lit. Let's get into the next portion of the video, though, which is the Bad Batch. And then at the end of this, I'm going to bring up that clip and kind of go on a whole rant about it. Again, I don't know. I've done too much. Oh, wait. Rosario Dawson was at the premiere for Mando Season 3. Interesting. Maybe we do get Ahsoka this season. Reyna, welcome to the Acolytes. I don't know if that's a 6 month or your 1 month. My thing's not telling me. Thank you for becoming a channel member, though, and welcome to the dark side. You play Star Wars Dark Forces. Carlos, I don't believe I do, unfortunately, but I'm open to. I should look into it. Timothy says, I wonder if the armor is interested in the throne. Maybe. That's an interesting question. She does kind of have a crown for her head. You know what I mean? She's got a golden helmet. She looks like she was at one point a Mandalorian. That's a good question, Tim. I wonder if she is interested in trying to get the throne, especially if this is going to be kind of a Game of Thrones for the Mandalorians. You know what I mean? That would be really cool. Carlos, what is Dark Forces on, by the way? I'm interested. I'm definitely interested. Dan is in the world between worlds. What? You must be an hour ahead of us, my guy. Tell me how the episode is. If it's coming out in an hour for you, tell me how it is, dude. I hope it's good. You guys are jokes. I love y'all. Moni G says it makes sense that we should be seeing Bo and Sabine. They're Mandalorian after all. Yeah, that's what I was feeling about Sabine too. I'm like, come on. But if she didn't leave Lothal and she's not with Ahsoka yet, she would have to be with Ahsoka. So maybe if we do see Ahsoka, we see Sabine. And if Sabine did wield the Darksaber, she is a Mandalorian. Maybe we do see Sabine and Ahsoka, especially after seeing Rosario at the premiere. I gotta pull this up. You guys gotta see the stuff I'm talking about. Come on, Sheiv. Where is the window capture? We're going to stream the Twitters. And that means that we're also getting into our Bad Batch portion of this as well, because there's a lot of Bad Batch stuff on Twitter to get through. Where is my window? It is gone. Window. Where are you? Twitter. Yes, good. Where was it? It disappeared. Oh, there it is. Alright. Here we go. No, it didn't work. Alright, one sec. I got this. Boom. Alright, so here is the tweet from Rosario Dawson. Sasha Banks is there too. Oh, that is Sasha Banks. Okay, so here it is. Here it is. Rosario Dawson and Sasha Banks, which now it's too big and it's not in the right spot. But they're at the Mandalorian Season 3 premiere. Maybe we do see Rosario Dawson in Season 3 of the Mandalorian. I hope we do. Like. Alright, so let me take you all. Bad Batch is trending. To what Jennifer Corbett said. Jennifer Corbett, if you don't know, is the showrunner for The Bad Batch or executive producer along with Brad Rao. And tonight she says, a new week. Or really, this was last night. She says, a new week, a new Bad Batch episode on Wednesday. I'd start preparing. And then, of course, she has Red Skull saying, cut off one head, 2 more shall take its place. Alright, buckle up because it's another crazy Sheiv theory time. Let me go back up to that. Back in like episode 1, 2, or 3, very early on in the season, a lot of people were wondering what the Metamorphosis episode would be about. Heck, I was wondering what the heck the Metamorphosis episode would be about, which that episode is tonight. Episode 11, Metamorphosis. At the time, I was like, maybe Crosshair is going to metamorphosize out of the Empire. I don't know. I was trying to spin it because a lot of times there's like these double entendre meanings to these Bad Batch episodes. I'm like, what the heck could Metamorphosis be? Is Omega going to metamorphosis? You know, what's going to happen? I also was at Star Wars Celebration last year. Shout out Tim for helping me get the tickets, my guy. Much love to you, my brother. But I was at Star Wars Celebration last year, and I had the pleasure of being in the Bad Batch panel. I got to see the exclusive trailer at Celebration, and there was a small little clip of the Zillo Beast. At the time, I was like, Metamorphosis could totally be the episode that we get to see the frickin' Zillo Beast. All those years ago, when we watched that arc in the Clone Wars, we were wondering what the heck happened. Because Palpatine ends up getting this vial of blood and disappears. We never see it again. It's not in the rest of the Clone Wars. It gets canceled left and right, and then, it, you know, the last season comes out and they don't have time for this. What if we end up seeing the Zillo Beast tonight? Cut off one head, 2 more grow, or 2 more take its place. What if Palpatine has cloned the Zillo Beast, whether that be on Mount Tantus or some other cloning facility? I would assume Mount Tantus, since it is the cloning facility now. What if Palpatine clones the Zillo Beast, and when you cut off one head, 2 more take its place? That would be so insane. I mean, it already has all these like tails and stuff, if I remember the Clone Wars right. That would be crazy, right? Who's with me? Come on. You guys have any predictions for tonight's Bad Batch episode? Let me show you the other little preview from the Kiner brothers. Sorry about that. I should have just stayed on her post. There we go. This is the Kiner brothers one. I have no idea what the broccoli head means. But then again, if it is the Zillo Beast, maybe this is the Zillo Beast head. Yeah, I gotta like enlarge in this so you guys can. That's the best you're gonna. It's not even on there. It's not even on there. Yeah. Maybe it's the Zillo Beast getting one head cut off, growing a bunch more. I don't know. It looks like parsley to me. It would be amazing, says Nighthawk. Tim says, yeah, I can see the Zillo Beast. Makes sense since you saw it at Celebration. It was like the smallest little like half a second. Honestly, I barely remember it. And then some other person said it, and I was like, yo, that's right. Tim says she actually posted it. She goes by her real name now, though. Say what? Oh, Rosario? Or who? Sasha Banks? Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Tim says, yeah, I can see the Zilla Beast. Oh, read that one. I just don't know how anyone could cut off its head. I don't know either. I mean, I'm just speculating here based on what they're saying. I have no idea. Zilla Beast is still just dangling out there in the cloning war. I'm down with that. Dude, I swear, I did my Clone Wars rewatch on the channel. We watched the entire Clone Wars show on the channel. And, I mean, that's how big of an animated Star Wars fan is. I love that stuff. But when we got to the Zilla Beast arc and ended, I'm like, dude, this is such a good arc, but what the hell happens? Like, where did this go? You know what I mean? Where is the Zilla Beast blood? What did Palpatine do? What if we see it? I don't know. I don't even know how it would really make sense narratively to bring it in at this point. Like, we just got the Bad Batch kind of getting together. Like, so how it would happen, I'm not quite sure. I guess the Bad Batch would go on a crazy mission to Mount Tantus. But then again, like, we did have this past arc while the Bad Batch were trying to, I don't know, recover, I guess you could say, from losing Echo. They go on this crazy mission and they're trying to basically figure stuff out without Echo at this point. And the Bad Batch, you know, they basically say, because, okay, Omega basically says on this crazy mission, like, can we call Echo? And Tech says to her, he's on some sort of crazy mission or he's out of range, basically. And he literally says, like, he might be on some sort of secret mission. Something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. What if the crazy mission is Echo and Rex going to Mount Tantus and seeing the Zilla Beast? I mean, was Rex a part of that arc? I don't remember. Now, I have to go back and watch the Clone Wars again. I'm just saying. If Rex and Echo have to go up against the Zilla Beast, I don't know if Echo would make it out of that. And I would be devastated. If it's the whole Bad Batch, which it definitely could be. I hope it is the Bad Batch. It's going to be a crazy ride. Either way, I think that might be what happens tonight. Otherwise, metamorphosis. Maybe it's the Bad Batch metamorphosizing away from Sid. I would love that. I would love for them to go on a... Maybe Sid sends the Bad Batch on a mission to the Zilla Beast and we get that double entendre meaning where metamorphosis is the Zilla Beast metamorphosis and then also the Bad Batch like metamorphosis growing past Sid. That would be awesome. Awesome. Moni G says the Bad Batch's ship has an emergency land on the secret Zilla Beast planet. I don't know. Would you tonight is like New Year's Eve? I'd say tonight is like Christmas Eve. Yeah. It's like Christmas Eve. It's so exciting. We're getting new Star Wars. We're getting the Mandalorian. We're getting Bad Batch. It's good times in the fandom, man. I'm hyped. How are we feeling about Bad Batch tonight, by the way? I'm just too excited, man. This is going to be a good ass night. It's going to be a good 5 weeks. 5 weeks we're getting Bad Batch and the Mandalorian together. It's crazy. I've never seen this much Star Wars at once. I don't know if we ever will see this much Star Wars. Heck, you guys were asking about Jedi Survivor earlier. There's a whole bunch of IGN videos with a bunch of that stuff in there that it just looks so good. And I'm glad they're taking the time to try and do Jedi Survivor the perfect kind of way that they want to. I know that there's going to be stances in the game. There's going to be some cool puzzles and adventures that Cal can do. Maybe even some side quests from what I've seen. And of course the main story as well as all the different saber things that Cal looks like he can do. I'm so excited for it. Zilla Beast versus Beskar, strongest armor in the galaxy. Dawn, that's what I'm saying. I would love to see some Zilla Beast armor or something. And Star Wars Celebration, says Kylie. Yeah, no, Star Wars Celebration is around the corner too. Strike says better than Christmas. We've been waiting 2 years. Facts, my guy. Metamorphosis. Maybe Sid sheds her shady ways and turns into a beautiful rebellion butterfly. Doubt. Where's the X? Doubt. I'm delaying Bad Batch. Gotta watch Mandalorian twice first. Let me know in the chat. We'll put up a poll. What are you guys watching first tonight? The Bad Batch or the Mandalorian? Let's do it. What you watching? What you watching? Bad Batch or the Mandalorian? Personally, here on the channel, Andalorian. Yeah, the Andalorian. That's definitely what we're going for. What you watching? Bad Batch or Mandalorian tonight? Here on the channel, we're going to be watching the Mandalorian first. I almost feel ashamed to say that because I love animated Star Wars, and I think tonight's episode of the Bad Batch is going to be an absolute insane one. But it's Christmas. I'm excited for Mandalorian, man. We have been waiting 2 years for this. If we were waiting 2 years for the Bad Batch, I would probably watch the Bad Batch first. We're watching Mando first, but we are watching the Bad Batch tonight as well, and that's the real answer to this question. Most of us, like the 100% of votes so far that say Mandalorian, most of us are watching the Mandalorian first. Heck, a lot of you might only be watching the Mandalorian tonight. But a lot of us are going to be watching the Mandalorian and the Bad Batch, and that's the real way to do it. That's what you should do. I should have made a third vote on the poll being both. I'm putting them both on at the same time. Damn, I've never seen a poll be 100%. I don't know if I've seen one either. That's pretty crazy. I mean, it's only 12 votes, but still, put your votes in. Did you ever think any of these Star Wars stories would be intertwined, meaning like Cal Kestis meets Obi-Wan or Andor? Yeah, I've definitely had some thoughts that could happen, JQ. I don't know if they're going to do it anytime soon, really, especially with Cal Kestis in particular. I've definitely had some thoughts, especially when we went to Baraka in season 1 of the Bad Batch. You know, all the tie-ins with Obi-Wan Kenobi, him doing so much of the same stuff that Cal did. I've definitely had thoughts of it, and I am hopeful that it happens. I want Cameron Monaghan, I hope I said that right, to be brought into Star Wars, live action Star Wars, that is. I think he's fantastic as Cal Kestis in the one game we've had him. However, I'm pretty sure there's going to be 3 of the Jedi games, being Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor, and a third one. So I think that we're going to get a full story with Cal Kestis ending in that third game. And then I think he'll be brought into live action. But that's just hopeful. Dina, I'm glad you're excited to see Mando tonight. This is the way, indeed, Aaron Tomato. Throw in your This Is the Ways. Heck, if you're a channel member, throw in your Din Djarin helmets. Do it. Christian Harloff just dropped his reaction of Mando. Must be nice. Damn, I've never seen a poll be 100%. JQ says it's kind of ironic considering that Mandalorian and Creed 3 are releasing on the same month, or on the 3-month on the 3-year of this early 2020s. What? That one blew my mind a little bit. Thanks, Tim, for the Mandos. This is the way. There you go. Love to see it, chat. Get the hype going. Let's go. I'm freaking excited, man. It's going to be so good. All right, how many of you guys am I gonna see at the watch party here in an hour? I hope everyone, or else you will face the wrath of Sheiv the Wise. I can't freaking wait. Okay, final predictions for the Mandalorian, and let me pull up this this clip. Final predictions for The Mandalorian Season 3. I would love to see Daniel Logan. That was a fantastic idea, seeing him on the red carpet. I hope he's a Mandalorian. I hope he's one of the Mandos we see take off their helmet or something. It'd be cool to even see him be a part of the Night Owls that Bo-Katan is like a leader of. Hey, no worries, Kylie. I hope you get some rest tonight. I don't blame you. Enjoy watching The Mandalorian tomorrow. I'll be here. I'll have you in the den on and Theory all pulled up. Hey, RG, that's what's up. I'll be here, says Aaron Tomato. Got a nap in before the stream, so I'll be good. Nice. So if they didn't have screeners, how has this person seen it? I think there was a like red carpet thing. It's possible Christian Harloff was there and saw it because they might have, done it a couple hours before the episode drops. Maybe they're even watching too. That's what they did at Celebration. Whew, I need some water. God damn. My throat was like closing up. Whew. If I'm awake, Mike Porter says, I'll see Mando first, then Bad Batch. It's nothing new for me to watch multiple Disney Plus shows on the same night, like Willow, Mighty Ducks, Marvel shows, National Treasure, and Star Wars. Woo! 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 What the hell is happening to Sheiv all of a sudden? Joe says, are there any fellow surfers who play Escape from Tarkov in chat? I know my good friend Scotty Hawks Holocron plays Tarkov, I believe. He streams it on his channel. Go check him out. Almost randomly died on stream. Yeah. You guys would have witnessed a live death. That would have been great. Bless you. Thank you. Oh, I'm dead. You guys ever see? Nah, you probably haven't. There's this guy named Quinnen Williams, which you probably won't even know who that is. But there's this video that went viral when he got drafted to the NFL where some dude is interviewing him and he sneezes in the interview and goes, "Bless you, thank you," and tells himself thank you. I'm so dead. RG says episodes 1 and 2, from what they're saying, episode 1 is good, but episode 2 is a banger. Okay. I'll look forward to it. This game is pain. What is his name again? I missed it. I'll def check him out. Scotty Hawks. I think his channel is Hawks Holocron. Hawks Holocron. That's what you should look up. Definitely almost just died. All right, wait. I gotta pull this up. So back to bring it all the way back around. Bring it around town. Let me pull up this clip from Jon Favreau explaining all the chaos, I guess you could say, from today on Twitter. So this is why everyone got so damn confused. And yeah, it's kind of confusing. I was confused for hours. Everyone thinks Jon Favreau has confirmed that the Book of Boba Fett takes place 2 years after The Mandalorian Season 2. So let me turn down the music and get the audio out so you guys can hear it. Alright, so check this out. Let me pull this over here and see if this works. I'll probably just ruin the whole thing, but check this out. Oh, now it's way too big. Okay, we're just gonna play it here, and I'm gonna play the audio.
And then we know that he's been rescued and spent many years with the Mandalorian. Went back with Luke. Now we've been 2 years apart from him there training. And
so there is where a lot of people think that Jon Favreau is basically saying that we spent 2 years apart from Mando training. So listen to it again, and here's what he says.
And then we know that he's been rescued and spent many years with the Mandalorian.
So he's been rescued and spent many years with the Mandalorian. So throughout season 1 and season 2, he's basically saying that he spends many years with Mando during that time period, or at least a couple of years, right? Probably 2 to 3, I would say. That's still many years to anybody. That's many years. Even Grogu, who lives 900. You know what I mean? 3 years is 3 years of your life.
Went back with Luke. Now we've been 2 years apart from him there training.
Okay, maybe he's talking about it hasn't been 2 years since. Has it been 2 years? Oh my god, no, that was the end of 2021. No, yeah. So he's saying it's been 2 years since The Mandalorian season 2. It's still confusing to me. This is just as unclear as the first one. It is. It's unclear. It's so unclear. I think this is the actual interview that's clipped from. This isn't the confirmation tonight. This is the same clip.
And then we know that he's been rescued and spent many years with the Mandalorian. Went back with Luke. Now we've been 2 years apart from him there.
Okay, I think he's saying he's been 2 years apart from him. We've been 2 years apart from him from their training. It hasn't been 2 years since we saw Grogu training with Luke. It's only been a little over one, I think. That was at the beginning of 2022. So that was literally like a year ago. That was a year ago. Although Dave, I love the smirk that Dave has right there. That's so great. But basically, he says 2 years of real time has not passed. It has not passed since the Book of Boba Fett. And 2 years of real time did not pass between Mandalorian Season 2 and the Book of Boba Fett. Literally, Mandalorian Season 2 was like a year and a little bit before Book of Boba Fett aired. Book of Boba Fett was also a year and a little bit before this aired. This aired. It's been 2 years since we saw Grogu taken from Din by Luke. Since then, I guess that's maybe when he started training with him, but I don't think he started training with him at the end of the Mandalorian Season 2. Like, obviously he goes and takes him off to train and whatever, but we don't see that. And it hasn't been a full 2 years of him training in the real life because they stopped training during the Book of Boba Fett, which was a year ago. So confused, bro. Says Lions. I'm just saying. It hasn't been 2 years since we saw Book of Boba Fett. Exactly. So unless he's completely misspeaking here, which maybe he is, I think he's literally saying that in the Book of Boba Fett, that's taking place 2 years after The Mandalorian Season 2, and that for 2 years, Grogu was training with Din. Are we all on the same page now? Time has passed, clearly. Exactly. So I think a lot of us thought that maybe it was a couple months, though, but here he's confirming, at least it seems so, that it's been 2 years for Din and Grogu, that they were apart during the Book of Boba Fett, and that them coming back together is such a big deal in that show because they've been together for quite a while. I don't know. To me, it sounds like it's been 2 years in universe. That's what I'm saying. Dan the Man says, just saw the clip from where Jon Favreau corrected himself on an interview with Variety. No, I gotta find it now. It's probably out there somewhere. Let's search for it. And then we'll probably get out of here since we got an hour until our Mandalorian Season 3 stream here. Let's do Jon Favreau Variety. How about that? Jon Favreau. And Variety. Do it. Okay, one hour ago, Jon Favreau clarifies that Luke and Grogu spent under 2 years together between Season 2 and Season 3 of The Mandalorian. He adds that it's likely similar to real time spent between The Mandalorian Season 2 and the Book of Boba Fett. That's still a while, though. That's still probably longer than a lot of us thought, and that's actually great clarity. Thank you, Jon Favreau, for clearing that. Here's the video.
You really set the internet on fire today. Oh, I did? Yes, you did. How so? Because you said that Grogu was with Luke Skywalker for many years.
I don't know if I said many years. It's probably about the real time that we've experienced it. So it was the end of Season 2 when they said goodbye. We checked in the Book of Boba Fett about a year ago when they parted company again, and then he rejoined the Mandalorian. So now I think somewhere in there, a
little over a year then.
Less than, somewhere between 1 and 2, 0 and 2 years.
Oh, so not that many years.
No, not that many.
So did
screen time? We know we only have 30 years to tell all our stories, so we have a lot more stories to tell.
Yeah, that's what we like to hear. Either way, that's good news to me that we're getting more stories. I'll pause this. Thank you for clarifying this with Variety, John, and thank you, Variety, for asking the question. so many of us fans were wondering today, and that really clarifies it up. So if you're wondering if the title of the whole stream, if you're wondering if Grogu spent 2 years with Luke, he spent probably a little over a year, is what I would say. That's the answer. So not quite 2 years, but he did spend probably a little bit more time away from him than we thought. And it's about the actual real time between the Book of Boba Fett season 1 and Mandalorian season 2. So Mandalorian season 2 to Book of Boba Fett season 1 is probably the actual time they spent apart, which actually makes so much sense. And it's cool that Jon Favreau is doing it according to real life time. I think that's awesome. So I hope that clears it up for everybody. RG says, so let's split it to a year and a half. That's probably a good call for it. Anyone saw the new post of the premiere on Instagram? I haven't yet. I've seen a lot of the people there posting about it, though. Let me turn the music back up. Thank you, GOAT, for the music. You are the GOAT. I've been saying for this for a month. Real time, people. I love it, Sabersmith. Keep preaching it out. I still think it makes a lot of sense. Din was probably searching for Grogu during that whole time. And it actually makes the impact just as impactful. Like, people were like, oh, it happens too quick. No, it doesn't. It happened in like a year and a half. We were all waiting for Din and Grogu to reunite, and it happened in real time. I love it. I love it. It was it was what we were waiting for. Yes, it happened in the Book of Boba Fett, but it stands to reason that it was always going to happen that way, as that was kind of the plan from Jon Favreau in the very beginning. He's been planning this stuff, and yes, he kind of goes with the flow as he goes, because that's Jon Favreau. But he's got a plan. They have some sort of a plan, and they've been building this stuff out for years. I can't wait to see The Mandalorian Season 3 air tonight. Any last predictions? Throw them in. We're going to get out of here in the next 3 minutes. Lions Mania says, any chance we see Cobb Vanth? I know he's playing a role in the series and he survived. Yeah, definitely a chance. We're supposed to be going to Tatooine based on what we've seen in the trailers. And I definitely think there's a chance, because in the post-credit scene, we see him on Tatooine becoming modded or whatever, and I think Boba is going to become a Mandalorian in this season. So, if Boba becomes a Mandalorian this season, based on his setup from the Book of Boba Fett, I think we would see Cobb Vanth, because he's probably healed at this point. If all of this is going by real time, he's probably healed at this point, and he's ready to kick some butt and protect Tatooine. Thank you, John, for clarifying that these seasons happen within real time. That's awesome. That's pretty cool, actually. See you guys soon. Yes. All right, we're going to get on out of here. If you guys are excited for The Mandalorian Season 3, make sure to smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, a big welcome to you. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight with our Bad Batch and Mandalorian preview. We'll see you next week for the next one. Or if you're staying tuned for our watch parties, stay tuned, because in 1 hour we're going to be doing a watch party for The Mandalorian Season 3 Episode 1, the premiere. Let's go. I'm super hyped. I will see you guys there, though, and at 1 a.m. tomorrow, I guess you could say, at 1 a.m. tonight Pacific Standard Time, 4 a.m. Eastern, or I believe around 9 a.m. around the European parts of the world. Make sure to stay tuned, because we're going to be doing a watch party for the Bad Batch. And again, if you're feeling down on the Bad Batch, stay tuned for tonight's episode. You might be changing your mind just a smidge on what's coming in the rest of the season. Thank you guys for being here, though. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Go check out our Discord in the description and the link before if you want to check out our merch. There's some down there too. We got some pretty cool merch on Streamlabs, so check that out. Go check us out on Twitter at Vader's Lair, on Instagram at Sheiv the Wise, and again, subscribe to Vader's Lair right here on YouTube. I will see you guys in just under an hour. Make sure to enjoy The Mandalorian Season 1 or Season 3 Episode 1 if you're not watching with us, and if you're watching the Bad Batch later without us too, enjoy that too. Check out our thoughts after if you want to see what we had to say. Thank you all for being here tonight. Have a good one. May the Force be with you. Let's go!